Up next, we have Nishant, who is a student worker at the Public Health School, who will talk about some of his research regarding COVID.
Everybody, thanks for setting up this panel and this forum. My name is Nishant Kishore. I'm a third-year PhD student working at Harvard THTAN School of Public Health. And as you might imagine, we're working around the clock in a whole slew of COVID-related topics. This past month, 2 months, has seemed like years, which is interesting. And we're definitely continuing that same sort of effort that we started off with. A lot of my research is focused around using larger data sets, specifically from social media providers, ad tech, from cell phone companies, to get a better understanding of how our mobility is changing under these heterogeneous public policies in terms of social distancing, and how that affects the transmission dynamics of the disease itself over space and over time. So as you might imagine, this is something that changes on a daily basis, and a large chunk of our work, or at least the work that I've been doing, is actually working with local departments of public health, helping them get a better grasp of what these data can show and what they are showing and what they're not showing, and getting a better understanding of how well their interventions are working. You know, this scales all the way from the level of small cities to entire states that we're supporting. And you can read a little bit more about what we've been doing at COVID-19mobility.org. As you might imagine, our research is critical to our success in understanding, planning, treating for the COVID-19 pandemic, and we're dedicating all our energy in helping us sort of get through this and get past this. Grad student labor has always been and will continue to be central to the production and dissemination of knowledge that will help us collectively deal with this crisis. And grad student workers need protections that would come with the fair contract to sustain our ability to contribute to ongoing efforts to better understand and combat the spread of COVID-19. I think it's especially important during these uncertain times to signal to the university how important our labor actually is. I think that there's a standard practice or expectation that these are emergency times, so it should be fine putting in extraordinary amounts of effort, and I do agree with that, but I think this amount of extraordinary effort highlights the importance that grad students play, or the important role that grad students play in the production of this research and the production of this knowledge. Some interesting things, right? So we can talk about health insurance, for example. The university keeps or continues to insist that the health plan is reasonable, despite the massive gaps for those who might need mental health care or specialist health visits, both topics that are especially important in these times of social isolation, in these times when people can't necessarily get out and get the necessary care that they need. And as researchers at HGSU show the importance of comprehensive and affordable healthcare, the university itself is not providing adequate care and insurance for dependents that is unaffordable. In these sort of pressing times, they've had to waive visit limits that are sort of baked into how health insurance is given out to the students because of the pandemic. But it doesn't really make sense that the university is insisting that these flawed policies would go back into place once the immediate crisis is over. Another thing I'd like to highlight that we spoke about a little bit is sort of the pay disparity. So again, at HSPH, all the TAs are generally paid about 63% of what TAs in GSAS, or the Graduate Schools of Arts and Sciences, would be paid for what is substantially the same type of work. And what the university is trying to do is codify this disparity into the contract in the midst of the pandemic. This exposes the need for well-educated public health leaders and doesn't really make sense as to why there should be a contractual reason that one group gets paid less than another. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nishant.